Hello, greetings, class. Today I wanted to talk to you about writing your integrative paper and go over a couple of things that are on Blackboard under the integrative paper process. So, instructions and things like that. So, I'm going to just read from the paper suggestions for writing your paper and criteria for grading it. So, just to start, we'll get started. Do not give a summary of the textbook or content from the context. So, pretty much, we want you to demonstrate that you understand the various models, the different counseling theories that you've learned, and the different approaches. So, just like you've done the discussion post, writing the case study, similar to that, you've learned different theoretical backgrounds and techniques and concepts and approaches, that's what you're going to apply to this paper and to a specific population or a diverse client group. So you might want to apply your integrative theory to a particular client population that you're interested in. You can look at chapter 15 for any ideas. So now just to get into specific guidelines, the quality of your writing. So we want to write directly and informally, yet we're writing, of course, in English. So we encourage you to use personal examples to support your points when appropriate. Also, make sure your essays reflect on the universal level of the writing skill. So using complete sentences, checking your grammar, spelling, develop your paragraphs. So a lot of times I made a comment to expound, elaborate on something. So put together a paper that reflects quality. You might ask someone to proofread it, reading over what you wrote to double check. So it's essential that you keep strictly within the estimated page limitation. So I know the page limitation is 20 pages, so that doesn't necessarily mean you have to write up to 20 pages or past that. So just like Dr. Prasad had mentioned, if you write it in 15 pages or 12 pages, that's also fine. Okay, step two is develop a theme. So look for a central theme or central message in each of your paragraph sections that you're writing. So we suggest that you create an outline and check that each point in your outline pertains to that central message. So create a short title or, based on the guidelines that you have, develop your thoughts fully, completely, kind of clearly state your message and what you're talking about under those sections, and giving support to why you're saying that. So, references is important. If you are using someone else's work, that you reference it as well. Okay. Um, so some other things to consider. Um, don't just make your paper a summary just of what you've learned. So when we talk about integrating different theories, so if I'm using cognitive behavior therapy and um, feminist therapy, those concepts, I'm integrating those two modalities, then why am I integrating that? What is useful? Why do I want to include that as a therapist? And also to think about the number of modalities that you're going to integrate is going to be important. So, in integration of your papers should emphasize that process, that perspective. So, demonstrating that you know the material enough. You're writing a theory, so you're proposing, oh, my integrative process is, CBT and feminist therapy and existential therapy, and I'm merging those three together and developing that. Okay. So just to kind of go over the grading rubric, the APA style that, like she mentioned, if you are writing in sixth edition, letting us know that. If you're writing in seventh edition, that's something I'll look at. So that is worth 5 points. Your integrative approach to counseling. Okay, which theories are you integrating and explaining what those theories are and why? How the theories applies to counseling. How does the feminist theory apply to counseling? How does that CBT apply to a counseling session or existential or whichever theory that you are integrating? And then the next one, the challenges you may face and how you would address them. So if you were integrating all of those three theories together, what are some challenges that you might, you know, face during that process with your hypothetical client. Okay, and how would you address those different, um, I guess, obstacles? So if there is a bias that comes up, how would you address that? Okay. The next thing, the case study, applying the theory. So that's where, you had plenty of practice with the discussion posts on the case studies. So your hypothetical client, how would you apply this integrative theory approach to that client if you're integrating three modalities or theories? And I always suggest like not having too many because it kind of becomes a little bit all over the place. So pick the ones that stand out to you that you can best write to. So just a couple of things, when you're combining two or more existing theories, why are you choosing those theories? How would they work together, and how wouldn't they work together if there's a difficulty? So taking the integrated theory and describe it in relation to the population that you want to choose, whether it's couples, teens, women, someone dealing with trauma, substance abuse. Address these remaining questions. How does this integrative theory align or misalign with worldviews? How do you reconcile any disconnects? How does this therapeutic relationship form in the context of this theory? And how would you measure the progress? How will this model change over time, if at all? Okay, so papers will be evaluated based on the following criteria, just to summarize. Your description of a theoretical approach, including how the theories fit together. So what is your theoretical approach? And if you're not sure, looking up that, what does a theoretical approach mean? That means, what's my approach to counseling? Justification for choosing your approach. Why did you choose that, including the strengths? What are some limitations, contextual considerations? And then a depth of reflection, personalization of topics tailored to the population you hope to work with in the future. And then all components need to be addressed in that paper. So you'll find this on the Blackboard under the integrative paper section. The paper is worth 45 points. It's broken down there. If you still have questions about that, please reach out to Dr. Prasad or myself. And again, we'll be looking at the structure, the grammar, right, the narrative, the coherence, the page limits. All of those factors will play a part. So I hope that you get something from the video, that this better explains how you can integrate or start your integrative paper. And we are here to support you through this process. Thank you.